Just a few weeks ago, something huge happened. Something that is fundamentally going to change our world. But most of us, we completely missed it. And no, this isn't just about a slightly faster computer. We're talking about a brand new era of discovery. One that's going to touch everything from the medicine you take to your online security. So let's get into what just happened.
All right, let me start by asking you a question. How long do you think it would take the world's fastest supercomputer, we're talking the biggest, baddest machine on the planet, to solve one very specific, mind-bendingly complex problem? Well, the answer is right there, 10 septillion years. That's a 1 with 24 zeros after it. I mean, to put that in perspective, our entire universe isn't even 14 billion years old. It's an impossible number.
But get this, a brand new machine, something called Google Willow, just solved that exact same problem in under 5 minutes. This isn't just a small step forward, This is like a leap into a whole different reality of computing. But the real story here, the thing you really need to know, isn't just about speed. It's about what this new power unlocks for all of us. What we're really talking about here is a breakthrough that is set to reshape industries that touch your daily life. We're basically going from a world of slow, painful, incremental progress to one where we can tackle problems that, until now, we considered literally impossible to solve.
And look, these are not abstract, far-off ideas. We are talking about developing life-saving drugs in a fraction of the time. We're talking about creating new batteries that could finally make electric cars the norm. And yeah, we're talking about completely rethinking the security of our entire digital lives. This is about your health, your technology, and your future.
Now, to really get why this moment is so significant, we have to understand the enormous problem that has basically crippled quantum computing for over 30 years. It's a story of incredible promise and decades of pure frustration. For years, this entire field was stuck in a cycle of hype, right? We heard these endless promises of a coming revolution, but when you actually looked for a real, usable quantum computer, there was just nothing there. Billions of dollars invested, but the results were always just around the corner. And this slide really nails the gap between that promise and the reality. I mean, the whole community was buzzing with potential. This is the future! But behind the scenes, scientists were calling it a graveyard of ideas because so many brilliant approaches just hit a wall. So what was the problem? What was the wall? Well, the villain of our story has a name: decoherence. You see, quantum states are unbelievably fragile. Any tiny little disturbance, a stray bit of heat, a vibration, it just destroys the calculation. The analogy used in the source material is perfect. It's like trying to whisper a secret in the middle of a hurricane. The information just gets blown away. It's gone, instantly. This single problem held the entire field back for decades. Until now, in late 2025, a series of rapid-fire breakthroughs didn't just chip away at this problem, they collectively shattered it. This wasn't one discovery. It was a cascade, a chain reaction that changed everything. I mean, just look at how fast this all went down. First, boom, October 22nd, Google's Willow proves it can run these incredibly complex calculations reliably. Then, not even 2 weeks later, bam, Princeton announces a new chip where the quantum state lasts 3 times longer. And finally, to top it all off, a company called Quantinuum announces its powerful Helios machine is now commercially available. It was a true 1-2-3 punch that completely changed the game.
So what makes these things so different? Well, a regular computer bit is simple, right? It's either a 0 or a 1. It's on or it's off. A quantum bit or a qubit, well, that's where the magic happens. It can be a 0, it can be a 1, or, and this is the wild part, it can be both at the exact same time. This lets it explore a mind-boggling number of possibilities all at once. This property is called superposition. And the best way to think about it is like you're trying to solve a giant maze. A classical computer would try one path, hit a dead end, go all the way back and try another one, so on and so on. A quantum computer, because of superposition, can essentially explore every single path in that maze at the same time. You can just imagine the incredible power that gives you.
So, how did they finally solve that hurricane problem? Well, it was a two-pronged attack. On the hardware side, Princeton figured out that using a combination of silicon and tantalum created this sort of protective shield for the qubits, making them way more stable. And at the same time, Google attacked it with software, building something called quantum error correction that basically acts like an autocorrect for the calculations, fixing errors as they happen. And here is the absolutely crucial point.
These breakthroughs don't just add up, they multiply. Google's own chief scientist, Michel Devore, said that if you combine Princeton's super-stable qubit with Google's error-correcting software, the performance becomes 1,000 times better. That's not just an incremental improvement. That is a paradigm shift.
Okay, so the science is fascinating, but let's get to the most important question. What does this actually mean for you? How does this breakthrough jump from the lab into the real world?
Well, on one hand, this technology opens the door to incredible promise. We're talking simulating new medicines in hours instead of years, designing new materials from the atom up. But there's also a very real danger. A powerful quantum computer could, in theory, break most of the encryption that protects our entire digital world. Your bank account, your emails, everything.
Let's make this really concrete. Google has already used Willow to simulate how medicines interact with enzymes in the human body. Now, for a patient waiting for a new cancer treatment, shrinking that development timeline from over a decade down to just a few years, well, that isn't just an abstract number, it's life.
And on the security front, this chart, well, it reveals a ticking time bomb. Look at this. Nearly 3/4 of security leaders see the quantum threat is real and material. They know it's coming, yet fewer than 1 in 10 has an actual plan to deal with it. This is a massive problem because hackers are already doing something called harvest now, decrypt later. They're stealing our encrypted data today, betting they can just crack it open with a quantum computer tomorrow.
So this isn't something you can just watch from the sidelines anymore. The transition is starting right now, and being prepared is everything. Let's break down some clear, actionable things you can do.
If you're a business leader, especially in pharma or finance or logistics, the time to act is now. You need to figure out your exposure, you need to budget for a pilot project, and you absolutely need to start planning your security migration immediately. The companies that get started on this in 2026 are going to have a massive head start.
And for the rest of us, the key takeaway is simple. This is not science fiction anymore. This is happening in the next 5 to 10 years, not 50. You need to understand the security risk and maybe even start asking the services you use, your bank, your email provider, what their post-quantum security plan is. And hey, if you're looking for a career path, this is a field that is about to absolutely explode with opportunity.
The era of theoretical quantum computing is over. The era of practical quantum computing has begun. Google proved it works, Princeton proved it can scale, and Quantinuum proved it's for sale. The question isn't if this is going to happen anymore, it's how we'll prepare. The quantum transition is here. So, are you ready?